We begin our look at sports on the NBA hardwood. The New York Knicks enacted some revenge Thursday night at the Garden. The Orange and Blue welcomed former star Kristaps Porzingis into the building for the first time since trading him to Dallas last season. The Mavericks defeated the Knicks first time out in Dallas, but with KP's return to the world's most famous arena, the outcome would play out differently, thanks in large part to Marcus Morris, one of the players the Knicks signed with KP's cap space. The Knicks beat the Mavericks 106-103. Porzingis had 20 points on 7 of 17 shooting plus 11 rebounds in his return to MSG. Morris had the step-back three game winner and also finished with 20 points and a nice highlight for an organization that has been making all kinds of wrong headlines of late. The Knicks welcome Charlotte Saturday night and Cleveland back to the Garden on Monday night. The Brooklyn Nets have signed former Knick Iman Shumpert to replace Wilson Chandler, who is currently suspended. The Nets fell 101-93 in Denver Thursday night. They are in Chicago Saturday night. The Nets were rumored to add Carmelo Anthony on several occasions this offseason. Well, it looks like Melo is heading to Portland, another spot that was on the rumor mill. Anthony, the 19th leading scorer in NBA history, is set for another shot at increasing his point total. The 35-year-old forward agreed to a non-guaranteed contract with the slumping Portland Trailblazers Thursday. Anthony has been out of the NBA since playing 10 games for the Houston Rockets early in the 2018-19 season. He last played on November 8th, 2018, when he shot 1 for 11 from the floor and scored just 2 points in Houston's 98-80 loss at Oklahoma City. The Rockets then kept him inactive until trading him to the Chicago Bulls on January 22nd in a deal that involved cash and the swap of 2 European players. The Bulls waived Anthony on February 1st. A 10-time All-Star, Anthony was the NBA scoring champion in 2012-13 with the Knicks. This is likely his last shot at winning that elusive NBA championship. Time for some quick hitters from around the world of sports. We begin on the ice, where the Broadway Blue Shirts had a rough night on the road Thursday. The host Tampa Bay Lightning started strong and rolled to a 9-3 victory. The power play was key for the Lightning. The Rangers will look to bounce back Saturday night in Florida when they skate against the Panthers. Puck drops at 7 p.m. The Islanders are in Philadelphia Saturday night. The Devils are home tonight to welcome Pittsburgh, who is without star Sidney Crosby. Crosby had surgery to repair a core muscle and will be sidelined for 6 weeks. What a game on Thursday Night Football. Some major fireworks at the very end. Cleveland topped Pittsburgh, but that wasn't the story. A violent incident marred the end of the game when Browns defensive end Myles Garrett ripped the helmet off Pittsburgh quarterback Mason Rudolph and used it to strike Rudolph in the head. Garrett was one of 3 players ejected after instigating that ugly brawl with 8 seconds remaining in the game. Don't expect to see him on a football field anytime soon. Brawls aside, the NFL game of the week thus far belongs to the action we saw between 2 NFC West heavyweights on Monday Night Football. This one did not disappoint. The San Francisco 49ers opened up a 10-0 lead early against Seattle, but a game-changing defensive touchdown got the Seahawks right back in it. At the half, San Fran led 10-7. That was just the beginning of a matchup that would go on into overtime. The 1972 Miami Dolphins can pop the champagne. The final undefeated team of the 2019 season has finally lost. Despite their best effort, the Niners battled but fell short to the visiting Seahawks and Russell Wilson, who strengthened his MVP case by helping lead the Seahawks to a 27-24 win in overtime. Wilson's 21-yard run in OT set up the game-winning field goal as time expired. Seattle improved to 8-2 while closing the gap between themselves and the NFC West leading Niners, who fell to 8-1. In baseball, Los Angeles Angels center fielder Mike Trout became the 11th player in history to win at least 3 MVP awards, topping Houston Astros third baseman Alex Bregman in results that were announced on Thursday. Trout joins a list of players with 3+ MVPs that is headed by Barry Bonds, a 7-time winner. No one else has won more than the 3 captured by Trout: Albert Pujols, Alex Rodriguez, Mike Schmidt, Mickey Mantle, Yogi Berra, Roy Campanella, Stan Musial, Joe DiMaggio, and Jimmy Fox. That is some list, folks. In the National League, that honor goes to LA Dodgers star outfielder first baseman Cody Bellinger, who you also just saw. He topped the 2018 winner, Milwaukee Brewers right fielder Christian Yelich. Closer to home, 2 players from the Mets have some major hardware To add to the trophy case, Jacob deGrom is the National League Cy Young Award winner again. deGrom was a near unanimous choice when he beat out Max Scherzer for the award in 2018, garnering 29 of 30 first-place votes. Then as well, the three-time All-Star continued to dominate opposing hitters this season with an NL-high 255 strikeouts and a 2.43 ERA in 204 innings. Once again edging Mad Max, deGrom had a higher wins above replacement. Amazin's rookie first baseman Pete Alonso is the National League Rookie of the Year. The 2016 second-round draft pick from the University of Florida exceeded every Mets fan's wildest dreams. This season, Alonso wowed the entire landscape of Major League Baseball with what seems like an endless list of accolades. NL Rookie of the Year, Home Run Derby champion, NL Rookie of the Month 3 times, Sporting News NL Rookie of the Year, MLBPA National League Rookie of the Year, Baseball Digest Rookie of the Year, and last but certainly not least, the all-time rookie home run crown. Pretty good for a guy who was in a position battle heading into opening day, right? The New York Jets are in Washington this Sunday, riding high following their victory over Big Blue. The New York Giants have the bye week. They return in Chicago next Sunday. G-Men rookie QB Daniel Jones didn't seem enamored with his nickname Danny Dimes when asked about it early this season. Jones, though, doesn't want anyone else to profit off of that nickname, like it or not, so the rookie filed a trademark request last month for Danny Dimes, according to ESPN. And in motor racing, with his win at Phoenix and advancing to the Championship 4 race in Miami, Denny Hamlin is once again back on top of this week's NBC Sports NASCAR Power Rankings. Not surprisingly, all 4 drivers who will battle for the championship are in the top 4 in this week's rankings. Kyle Busch is second. Last week's number 1, Kevin Harvick, drops to 3rd. And Martin Truex Jr. is 4th. Top story from motorsport is a sad one, though, this Friday morning. Jorge Lorenzo is retiring from MotoGP after growing speculation and a worsening struggle to regain confidence and form on his Honda. The 32-year-old 5-time world champion is calling it a day. Lorenzo announced that he will retire from MotoGP competition with this weekend's Valencia GP, his final race. He made the announcement at a special press conference on the eve of what will be his final race this Sunday. It is the circuit where he secured the first of 2 250cc titles in 2006, the last of 3 Premier Class titles in 2015, and where he secured 4 of his 47 Premier Class wins out of a career total of 65 in all classes. He's one of the all-time greats and will be missed. Lorenzo cited injuries and a lack of drive to win for saying goodbye to the sport. Those are the headlines. We hit the C-list for the 2 hellos in the Yankee clubhouse who could be as important as any signing Brian Cashman makes this offseason. The Yankees general manager has made it clear the Bronx Bombers weren't a player or 2 away from winning the World Series. They were a play or 2 away from winning it all. He told the media this week, while also acknowledging that the Pinstripers will be all in on some of the major pitching free agents on the market. The Yanks made 2 less sexy moves in the coaching ranks that could ultimately prove to be major difference makers by the time it's all said and done next fall. The Yankees hired Tanner Swanson as their catching and quality control coach. Swanson was the minor league catching coordinator for the Minnesota Twins this past season. The Bombers are going to make Gary Sanchez a better receiver no matter what. Sanchez, who struggled in the postseason, still has the trust of general manager Brian Cashman, but Cash knows that Swanson can make Sanchez into a much better catcher, hence the hire. Meanwhile, the same could be said in the pitching department. 4 years ago, Matt Blake was testing his progressive pitching philosophies on high school hurlers in the Boston suburbs, a precursor to what would be a dizzying rise through the world of professional baseball. Now he will be delivering those lessons for the Yankees, having been named as the club's new pitching coach. Blake, who previously worked in the Yankees organization as an area scout, returns after 4 seasons with the Cleveland Indians, where he was recently promoted to Director of Pitching Development. The 34-year-old spent the last 3 seasons as the club's Assistant Director of Player Development, overseeing the formation of pitching strategy for the organization. Blake pitched 4 seasons at the College of Holy Cross and graduated in 2007 with a degree in psychology and philosophy. As recently as 2015, Blake was serving as the pitching coach for a high school. Seems crazy, but looks like Cash has done the same as he's done on the baseball diamond. He's uncovered some of the diamonds in the rough in the coaching ranks. Those two coaches could loom as large next time around, especially now that the Houston Astros have been busted for stealing signs. Coaching is more important than ever, folks. That's your sports. I'm Bobby C. Stay with us.